Electric cars aren't the future anymore. They're already here. And around the world, we're seeing more and more of them on the road. But Nigeria is still pretty early when it comes to EVs. That's starting to change. And somehow, right here in Lagos, we've got this, the Zeekr 9X Ultra. A 3-row luxury SUV with over 1,000 horsepower, loads of technology, and honestly, some features that feel way ahead of where we are in the Nigerian market. So what happens when you bring something like this to Nigeria? Let's take a closer look.
The first thing that hits you when you see this thing in person is just how big it is. Okay, so let's start with the front, because this thing is massive. And I think that's the first thing you notice when you actually see the 9X in person. It has this really upright, almost imposing stance. I mean, you have to pardon the topography of this place because it's a bit bent, but you can see that there's nothing subtle about the front of this car. You've got this hood grille taking up most of the front end, and then this really slim lighting element sitting above it. It gives the car a lot of presence, and honestly, I can see why people have already started comparing the 9X to some of these ultra luxury SUVs. Moving on, now we have these gorgeous headlights. Now, these aren't just headlights. Zeekr has actually turned these into part of the car's personality. They can project light onto the road, so when you unlock the car or approach it, you're not just getting headlights turning on. The car can actually put on a little light show. And when you come around to the side, you start to appreciate just how big this thing actually is. It's over 5.2 meters long, and you can see why. Now let's take a look at these gorgeous wheels. You can see the size on these wheels. These are 22s, and I think they suit the car really well because they fill out that massive wheel arc. And now let's go into the car. We've got these beautiful door handles, and they are touch sensitive, and as long as you have the key fob in range, a slight touch to the handlebar unlocks the car. I mean, take a look at this beautiful key fob. And on this particular trim, which is the Ultra, you also get the power doors, so you don't really have to put much effort into getting in. For example, when you get in and press the brake, the door automatically pulls itself shut, so you don't have to worry about properly closing this massive door yourself. And even some of the smaller details up front are really nice. Take a look at the gear selector, which is neatly tucked behind the steering wheel, which keeps the center console really clean. And then you've got this crystal style rotary control here for your music. You can turn it to adjust the volume and use it to control playback, so you don't have to keep reaching over to the touchscreen for everything. Then you've got this wood finish running through the cabin, both in the front and second row, which gives the interior a really nice mix of traditional luxury and modern technology. And of course, the name sound system. Name has been working with Bentley for years, so seeing that name in here tells you they are taking the audio experience pretty seriously. Because this is a 3-row SUV, you might expect it to look really tall and bulky from the side, but they've managed to keep the roofline pretty clean. And then you get to this. This is basically the control center for the entire car. And what's interesting is how much of the car you can actually control from here. Please ignore the protective film on the screen. The car is brand new and still for sale, so I'm not pulling anything off. But yeah, this is an OLED display. The main interface is not just your navigation and music sitting here. You've got the car itself built into the interface. So instead of having a dashboard full of buttons for everything, a lot of these controls have been moved into this screen. I mean, if you were to ask me, I'd say I'm still very much a big fan of button featured cars, but let's move on and let's take a look at the vehicle setting. This is where you start realizing just how much control they've put into this thing. You can get into the car settings, change the lighting, control the doors and windows, adjust the seats, mess around with the driving settings. Basically, if the car can do something, there's a pretty good chance there's a menu for it somewhere in here. You can also control the lighting from here, so you can basically change the entire mode of the cabin without touching a physical switch, and it's just on and off. You can actually customize how the cabin feels. Now let's take a look at the cameras. This is probably one of the things that actually use the most. You've got cameras all around the car, so from here you can basically see what's happening around you. And because this thing is over 5 meters long, having this kind of visibility when you're parking is not just a nice feature, it's something you actually want. And also you've got like the driving and vehicle modes here. And obviously this isn't just an entertainment screen. You can actually change how the car behaves from here. You've got different driving modes, so depending on what you're doing, you can change the way the car responds. And honestly, with this much stuff buried inside menus, voice control starts to make a lot more sense. So instead of digging through the screen every time you want to change something, you can just tell the car what you want. And because this is basically a computer on wheels, you've got connectivity built into the car as well. So you've got your usual Bluetooth and phone connectivity, but the system also has its own apps and online services. Even the door has a lot going on here. We've got memory stick controls, the massage and eating controls embedded into the left side of each door, which is amazing. Now the massage has 8 different modes, and I loved having the massage. So this is very cool. Right now I'm receiving like a body massage, which I think really feels good, because I mean the PHEV vehicle community is here to stay. I mean, you can just enjoy and feel the ambience of this very car, and you know, it has so much safety features embedded that it just does wonders. This vehicle has got a dash cam that records emergency clips when it suspects like an accident is about to happen. I mean, you can just check how amazing that is. General recording, emergency recording. It just records automatically, and then you can see it all in the gallery. Yeah, so back to emergency, we've got like this app center where we've got Bluetooth calls, the camera, voice settings, off-road control, smart fridge, dynamic theme, and you've got a dual wireless charger right here, which is a nice touch. 2 phones can charge at the same time, so even with 2 people in the front, nobody has to go looking for a cable. We've got this very nice thermal and cooling cup holder that you can set to your preference as well. Now moving on to the second row, this is where the 9X starts feeling less like a normal SUV and more like a luxury lounge. You've got these really comfortable captain chairs back here, and they do just slide back and forth. They can actually rotate 180 degrees with massage capabilities as well, so you can turn the seats around and face the people behind you, which is pretty interesting if you're having a conversation, working, or even having a quick meeting in the car, only when the car is stationary though. And then you've got your own entertainment screen back here, so passengers aren't dependent on the front screen for everything. So the idea is clearly not just to give you more space. Zeekr has actually designed the second row to be a place where you can sit, work, relax, or just spend some time without feeling like you're sitting in the back of an SUV. You've actually got 2 places to open the door automatically. There's one right here on the door frame, and then another one on the door itself, so you can open the door from either position without having to manually pull it. And then right here in the middle, you've got a smart fridge. It's not just there to keep your drinks cold either. You can actually control the temperature depending on what you're trying to keep in there, with different settings for things like wine, champagne, cold drinks, and even eating. And there's actually a little control screen sitting right above it. It basically comes up like a little tablet, and you can use it to control different parts of the rear cabin, including the entertainment screen. And because this is a plug-in hybrid, you've actually got 2 separate ports on both sides of the car. This one here is for charging the battery directly, while the one on the other side is a petrol filler. So you've got the convenience of driving it like an EV around town, but you've still got a petrol engine there when you need it. Now, underneath all of this is where the 9X gets really interesting. You've got a 2-liter turbocharged petrol engine working together with 2 electric motors. The electric motors alone make 660 kilowatts, that's about 893 horsepower, and 935 newton meters of torque. And this particular Ultra has a 55 kilowatt hour battery, giving you up to 288 kilometers of pure electric range on the China light duty vehicle test cycle. But here's the crazy part: Zeekr claims a combined CLTC range of up to 1160 kilometers, so you can use it like an EV for your everyday driving, but you've still got the petrol engine there when you need it. And because it's running on a 900 volt architecture, Zeekr says you can charge from 20 to 80% in about 9 minutes with the right fast charger. And when the battery gets low, that petrol engine can also generate electricity for the system while you're driving, so you're not completely dependent on finding a charger. Now, this is a really cool little detail. When you open the boot, the rear suspension actually lowers itself, so the back of the car drops down and gives you a much easier loading height. And with a car this big, that actually makes a lot of sense. And because this particular one is brand new, you still got all the charging equipment sitting in the boot. You've got the portable charger here, then the home charging equipment that comes with the car. Here's also a power outlet back here, which is a really useful little addition. So if you're out somewhere and you need to power something, perhaps you're going camping or something, you know, whether it's a laptop, a light, or whatever else, you've got a power source right here in the boot. And obviously you've got a lot of usable space back here. It's the kind of space where you can actually throw in your luggage, shopping, camera equipment, whatever you're carrying without having to play Tetris with everything. You've also got a proper 220 volt outlet back here, which means you can actually plug in some of your everyday electronics, and with vehicle to load, the car can actually become a giant power bank, which could be pretty useful when you're away from a normal power source. The Zeekr 9X Ultra can even send power to another vehicle, so the car can basically help charge another EV. There's also active noise cancellation working in the background, helping keep the cabin really quiet. And you've got acoustic glass as well, which helps keep even more of the outside noise out. And when it comes to parking, you've got cameras and automated assistants to help you squeeze something this big into tighter spaces. And honestly, I think this is a pretty interesting car to start our car review journey with. This is actually the first car I've reviewed on the channel. We've mostly been doing bikes, car meets, drifting, and just documenting the automotive scene around Lagos. And I think the 9X is a really good introduction because it just shows how quickly the car industry is changing. This is a Chinese-built luxury SUV. It's a plug-in hybrid. It's packed with technology, and it's the kind of car that not too long ago you probably wouldn't expect to see sitting in a showroom here in Lagos. Now, I haven't driven this particular car, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend I can tell you how it drives or how it feels on the road. This review is really about getting up close with the car, seeing what it offers, and understanding what makes it so interesting. And for me, that's what GV Motorsports is really about. Getting out there, finding interesting machines, and showing you what's happening in the automotive scene here. So this is just the beginning. If you enjoyed the video, subscribe because we are going to be doing a lot more cars, bikes, meets, drives, and everything in between. I'll see you in the next one.